Let's talk real for a second. You ever felt like the more effort you pour into a woman, the less she values it? You show up, you text back fast, you try to be consistent, supportive, emotionally available, all the things you were taught man should be. But instead of deepening the connection, you feel her slowly slip away. She gets colder. Her replies get drier. The vibe changes. And you start questioning yourself, thinking maybe you said something wrong. Maybe you didn't do enough. Maybe you need to try harder. But deep down, you feel that something shifted. And here's what most men don't realize. The harder you chase, the faster she runs. You think you're being a good guy, but from her perspective, you're just another man trying to prove himself. That's not attractive, it's expected. It's normal. And women don't value what's predictable, especially when society, social media, and simps have placed her on a pedestal where she's constantly fed validation, likes, compliments. Demish is conditioned to expect attention, not earn it. When you come in with your whole heart exposed and no standards in place, she doesn't see strength. She sees surrender. That's not love in her eyes. That's submission. And once she feels like she has you emotionally locked in, the challenge dies. That's when she starts to withdraw. It's not always because she's mean or manipulative, but because her ego feels full. She's been fed, and she didn't even have to lift a finger for it. That's the moment everything starts to unravel. But you don't fix it by becoming colder or bitter. You fix it by shifting the frame. You stop chasing her, and you start becoming the man she has to chase. Not through games, not through manipulation, but through presence, purpose, and boundaries. That's when she stops pulling away and starts paying attention. Asterisk. Most men don't realize how quickly they become a woman's emotional safety net and how fast that kills attraction. You think being there for her, constantly checking in, comforting her every time she's upset, makes you valuable. But it doesn't. It makes you predictable. It makes you safe. And while women appreciate safety, they don't desire it when it comes to isolating. Desire lives in tension, in mystery, in the unknown. So the second you make yourself emotionally available without her having to earn that closeness, her ego registers it as weakness. Not because you're weak, but because she didn't have to work for it. Her subconscious reads it like this: if he gives this much without any effort from me, how many others has he done this for? And why is he giving me this energy before? I've shown him I deserve it. You think you're building connection, but you're actually creating imbalance. A real connection is mutual. It's two people meeting each other with equal energy. But when she starts pulling away or acting distant, and you keep leaning in, you're not being loving, you're being emotionally reckless. That doesn't mean be rude or ghost her. It means pull back and protect your energy. She's not being respectful. If she's not showing up fully, you do less, not more.
Ow.
You show her that intimacy is something you value too much to hand out without reciprocity. That shift doesn't require anger, attitude, or coldness. It just requires standards. And the moment she feels your emotional distance, her ego gets put in check. Now she's not sure if she's still got you. Now she's wondering what changed. That quiet pullback speaks louder than any conversation ever could. That's when respect is born. That's when attraction has space to breathe again. Asterisk, one of the fastest ways a man loses his power is by trying to explain himself to a woman who's already decided to test him. She gets moody, pulls away, throws little jabs, and what do most guys do? They overreact. They chase. They start raising their voice, arguing, trying to convince her why they're worth it. But here's the brutal truth. Every time you do that, you shrink in her eyes. You think you're standing up for yourself? But what you're really doing is showing her that you're emotionally controlled by her behavior. That's exactly what her ego wants. It feeds on your reactions. It feeds on the fact that she can shake your world with a little silence, a little attitude, a little withdrawal. The more you argue, the more you explain, the more you try to be understood, the more she knows she has power over you. But here's what a grounded man does. He raises his standards, not his voice. He doesn't match her energy. He doesn't argue. He simply adjusts. She cancels plans. He doesn't reschedule. She gives an attitude. He doesn't engage. He falls back with calm confidence. No drama. No emotional fireworks. Just quiet accountability. That silence is powerful because it tells her without a single word that you're not a man she can play with. You don't teach people how to treat you by what you say. You teach them by what you tolerate. And when you no longer tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or emotional games, the game changes. Suddenly, she's not so sure she can push your buttons. Suddenly, she's questioning if she crossed a line. That's when the ego shrinks and respect starts to rise. You don't have to raise your voice. You just have to raise the bar. Stick to it without blinking. That's real strength. Asterisk, when a woman starts chasing attention from everywhere else posting thirst traps, it's talking about how many dimes she gets, constantly glued to her phone, it's easy to feel like you have to. Step up your game to compete. Most men fall into that trap. They try harder, compliment more, double text, try to outshine the crowd. But the moment you do that, you've already lost, because now you're seeking validation from someone who's actively chasing it from the world. You've made her the prize and yourself the contestant, and her ego feeds on that. Doesn't even need to earn your focus, it's just there, freely given, while she barely has to show up for it. That imbalance creates a power dynamic where you're proving your worth and she's sitting back, just deciding whether or not to respond. You don't win by trying to outclap her audience. You win by pulling your energy back entirely. Stop trying to compete. Stop playing her game. When she posts for attention, don't react. When she brings up her admirers, don't flinch. Your silence, your indifference, that's what separates you from the crowd. Suddenly, you're not clapping. You're not validating. You're not watching the show. And that hits differently. Now she notices the absence. She notices you're not playing the same role every other guy does. That shift when you go quiet, focused, and centered creates a new tension. One where she feels the gap and starts to lean in. She starts to wonder why you're not reacting, why you're not chasing. And that mystery, that unpredictability, that's what humbles her ego. Because now you're not trying to win. You've positioned yourself as the one she has to earn. You're not the fan in the crowd anymore. You're the one she starts looking for when the noise fades. It's how you flip the script. Asterisk, when you move like a woman, is your final destination. You lose yourself without even realizing it. Everything starts to revolve around her. You check your phone every few minutes, waiting for her to reply. You shift your plans just to fit her in. Prioritize her mood, her schedule, her energy before your own. And at first, it might seem romantic, even noble. But what it actually does is show her that she's the center of your world. That she has you. That she doesn't need to try anymore. And the moment she senses that, her effort drops. Her curiosity fades. She starts testing, pulling away, because there's no tension left, no polarity, no uncertainty. Her ego feels fed and you become predictable. That's not how you build desire. That's how you get taken for granted. The shift happens when you stop seeing her as the destination and start moving like she's just part of the journey, not the whole reason for it. You've got plans. You've got a vision. Your day is full. Your energy is focused. And yes, you care about her, but you don't orbit around her. You invite her into your world, but that world doesn't collapse without her. That's what makes her stop and look twice, because now you're not a man seeking her approval, you're a man pursuing something bigger than both of you. And that independence, that self-direction, it's powerful. It reminds her that you're not waiting on her to give your life meaning. You've already found it. And that's what humbles her ego. Not because you're ignoring her, but because you're no longer chasing her. You're moving forward with or without her. And now, she's the one wondering how to stay in your orbit. That's when the dynamic flips on, real respect begins.